Hey everybody, what's up? Daniel here. Today I'm bringing you a complete iPhone 5 rumor roundup, and these are just a bunch of rumors that have been going around about the iPhone 5. And I just want to clear some things up and give you guys a better perspective on how it's going to be and how it's going to look if you don't already know. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking about the hardware, the software, and some of the specs that it might be having. So let's go ahead and get started off with the hardware. First of all, it's going to have a better camera. We know that for sure. It'll probably have an 8 megapixel or higher for shooting capabilities, or maybe a 1080p full HD video recording capability, which that would be great. That would be like a full out camera right there, and you could use that for photos, YouTube, everything. That's something cool. I'm not sure if Apple will go through with a 1080p video. For sure they will go higher in megapixels to make the pictures better. But yeah, that's for the camera. Second thing is, not having a home button is not very likely. It is going to have a home button. Maybe if they were to take off the home button, they could have a touch sensitive non-button display thingy at the bottom where you just touch it. Instead of it being a button, you can just touch it and it goes back. But they're probably going to stick with the home button for now. Maybe in the next model we'll see something like that happening. A bigger screen is for sure going to happen. A 4-inch or larger, maybe up to 5 inches of a screen. Maybe not 5 inches, maybe in between that, because 5 inches is pretty big for a phone. But 4 inches to compete against all those phones like the HTC 7, HTC HD7, or all those other HTC phones that have a really large screen and make it really nice to surf the web, play games. It's just a much more intuitive and better experience to see it on a bigger screen. Especially, they will raise the resolution maybe to make it better with the wider screen and the bigger screen. They have to make it better. So we'll see that for sure. Hopefully, I guess, because you never know what to expect from Apple. One other thing is they could be sticking to the same design as the iPhone 5, and instead of the glass on the back, they could replace it with brushed metal. So we could see that happening, but if they were to go with a new design, they could do what they did with the iPad 2 and round off the edges and reduce the thickness by a little bit, which would make it more like an iTouch, but it would make it much better, much thinner, much nicer, much more Apple-like. But that's for that. It will not be having a physical keyboard. That's something we will not be seeing at all, because Apple revolutionized the smartphone without it having a physical keyboard and changing all that. So physical keyboard not going to be happening. White and black models will be available on the release date. Apple will not be screwing up with that ever again. I mean, they had the iPad 2 launch and they had the white models and the black models at the same time. So they're totally going to be having this for the iPhone 5 as well. 64 gigabyte model is very likely, because many people have been speaking about a 64 gigabyte model, because I ran out of 32 gigabytes on my phone. I downloaded a bunch of apps, movies and everything. I just had to delete all the movies, so a 64 gigabyte version would be really nice to not have to worry about running out of space on your phone. Next thing is the full HD video recording, and the iPhone 5 could be able to could be able to record in 1080p full HD videos. Not very likely though, because I don't know if Apple would upgrade all that, because that would be like a full out camera on your phone. It'd be great if they did. I mean, that'd be just full out awesome. I hope they do. But I don't know if they'll keep the same price on the iPhone 5 as they did in the iPhone 4, because that would be upgrading a lot. But Apple always does that, they surprise. So next thing is 3D display. 3D display, although 3D phones coming out, this is not even going to happen on the iPhone 5 at all. Even though the iPhone 5 is capable of handling a 3D display, it won't have it. It's just not needed. It's something. 3D technology right now is kind of like on like the tip of the iceberg. It either works for some people, but then other people just completely hate it. They're against it. So it could go either way, but I don't think they'll be having a 3D display on the iPhone 5. Better battery could be improved, but I don't know. The battery right now is great, so we could see maybe the battery being improved in the iPhone 6 for next year. Next up is a CDMA model for Verizon, and that's 100% full out gonna happen. I don't know if it'll be released on the same day as it is gonna be for the AT&T, but we'll see that when it's gonna be happening. So Verizon people, Verizon users, you guys will be having the iPhone 5 as well. So that's good. NFC technology has been spoken about a lot in a lot of blogs, on the news channel, everything, because you'll be able to pay with your iPhone, having your credit card on your iPhone, and just scan it and just pay and get access to your Apple accounts. And I don't know about that. It looks like Apple's going to be including it, but it'll be a really nice thing to see, and we'll see how it works out when they announce the iPhone 5. An A5 processor is all the way there. I mean, they have it with the iPad 2, so they're totally going to have it with the iPhone 4. One thing that they could be doing that they didn't do with the iPad 2 is bumping up the RAM from 512 megabytes, which is on the iPhone 4, and going all the way up to a gig of RAM, which would speed up the iPhone 4 by a ton and just make it wicked fast. Next thing is 4G and LTE support to make the web browsing and everything much easier to use, and we could see that happening in the near future, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if Apple would be sticking with 4G technology and using that to speed it up. It would be great to see that, because downloading apps much faster. It would make the phone just lightning fast with the higher RAM, the i5 processor, and 4G. But we'll see what happens. HDMI output for 1080p for HD support with the new mirroring technology. We can see that happening because the iPad 2 has it. So this looks like it will be having it as well. And now iOS 5, it's going to be launched on the same day as the iPhone 5 is announced. It's going to probably have enhanced voice controls, because right now the voice controls on the iPhone 4 and iOS just really bad. Not many people use them. I mean, let me know if you use the voice controls, because I know I barely ever use them. They're really slow, not very fun to use. So hopefully they'll be improving that and making it a more simple experience, a more intuitive thing to use. Next is iTunes Cloud. So if you've heard of Mobile Me, iTunes Cloud is basically the same thing but for music. So you purchase a song and it gets transferred to all your devices, and you can sync it up through the cloud. Very simple. That's one thing that I think Apple will be doing. Many people have been waiting for that for a while, so maybe they'll be announcing this in June or July when they announce the other things. Now for when the iPhone 5 is going to be available, that's still on the lopside. Normally they always come out in June or July, but some people are saying that it could come out in September, which I'm not sure about that. I think Apple will be sticking to the June or July release date, because it's just kind of they've had that every year. I think they're going to stick with that. But yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what you guys think about it. If you think that the iPhone 5 will be available this summer, or it's going to be available in September. So I don't know. My thoughts are it's going to be available this summer, obviously around with iOS 5. I don't think it'll be coming out with the new iPods in September, but we'll have to wait and see. You never know. The iPad 2, people thought it was going to come out in the summer, but it came out 1 week after it got announced. So we don't even know what to expect from Apple now. And all of these pictures and everything, all the information that I got today's info from was from nowhere else. They set up this cool little roundup, iPhone 5 roundup thing, and it's from nowhereelse.fr, France, which stands for France. So www.nowhereelse.fr. You guys can go check out that vlog. It's all in French, so I don't know if you can understand that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And also, if you like the intro at the beginning of this video, please let me know, because I think that's the one I'm going to be using from now on. I thought it was pretty cool. But thank you guys for watching. This was a mouthful. And subscribe to see more things on the iPhone 5 coming in the near future. More unboxings and more videos. Everything like that. So yeah, you guys, this was Daniel from Dark Gadgets, and peace off.